Hello, 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 hello. My name is Shlomo, and I am happy and honored to invite to our talk Dr. Ben Shomer. We are here like in a promo for the SGLA program. The SGLA program will begin the coming Thursday, and you can register for the next 2 weeks. And in this wonderful and amazing program, we are working on training future leaders on 4 dimensions: the physical, the emotional, the logical and mental dimension, and the awareness dimension. Dr. Ben Shomer, a good friend, which we were together when we almost began this program. And he will talk today on the, let's say, the physical part on the right leadership, the way we want to see it. Just for your information, if you want to join the program, you go into our website, which is very simple, sgla.com. I just want to make sure that you can comment here and I can see your comments. One moment, please. Okay, so I'll write the name of our website later, because I don't see here the way I can see your chat and you can see mine. Anyway, say show, I push the show, and the show doesn't come in. One moment. I will make it one moment. Oh, I'm sorry, we have some kind of technical problem. Okay, so we will talk and we won't see the feedbacks here, but we will make it like this, Dr. Shomer, and at the end we will share it so everybody can see it later. So, Dr. Ben Shomer, welcome, welcome, welcome. First, please introduce yourself.
Thank you so much, Shlomo. It's a privilege. It's an honor. It's an honor to be here with you this morning, and it's a real privilege and honor to teach in this amazing program of Sustainable Global Leadership Academy. So I'm Dr. Ben Shomer, and in my past life, as I call it, I went through a totally different life where I've been on the scientific path, a very precise and very mental path in which I studied biology, and hand in hand, I taught myself computing. I finished my PhD in 1994, and hand in hand with that emerged a new scientific arena called bioinformatics, which actually combines computing and biology. And I went through a decade of working with the biopharmaceutical industry in the UK, in the United States, here in Israel, and I also held a teaching position at the university here in Israel. And it's been a very, I would define it as a very narrow stand of life, really highly concentrated in the scientific aspects. Hand in hand with that, around 1997, I think I can define this year as the year in which I upgraded myself from version 1 to version 2. that began my journey for version 2 of Ben Shomer. In that year, we used to say in day-to-day language, I stumbled across, although we really know that there's nothing like that. We never stumble across, everything is so precise. I was standing at the company's library. I was in New Haven, Connecticut. I was searching for a scientific publication, and my hand reached out and pulled out a book from my greatest mentor ever, which was Dr. Stephen Covey. I pulled out a book which was called The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, very famous book. And I stood there for about a couple of hours reading. I borrowed the book. I went home, and then I felt ill. I've been sick for 3 days, and for 3 consecutive days, I read the book nonstop, and that began my first very serious journey. Actually, I did have a very deep journey in my youth when I was in my 20s, and I went through, I served in the army in a combat position with the paratroopers, and I went through quite a few events and the war, and that completely changed my attitude towards life, although I didn't know it then. And actually, this war that I went through in 1982 was one of the most spiritually converting events in my life, and I know it now, looking retrospectively on this war and how I came out from it. So it was really my initiation, so-called, to a more spiritual life. And in 2002, I went through a whole different change. I would say that was my version 3. And actually, that's when I met you, Shlomo. And that's when we began a mutual journey for almost 18 years now that we know each other. And on this journey of my third version, I actually completely abandoned the mental scientific path, and I went into a much more precise path for myself, in which I mentor people and I help people with overcoming issues in life, challenges, and I teach in a very different manner, a very unorthodox manner, I would say. And for me, this is one of the highest peaks, because the feeling of self-fulfillment is so amazing. It's so overwhelming. Every change I manage to help someone make is really a gift for me. And this is my life more or less nowadays. This is mostly what I do. I still keep some of my, I would say, hobbies of programming and dealing with computers. That's my second love. But my real love is people. People, the path of love, the path of change, ever-growing expansion. And this is actually what we came here to do, to expand. And sometimes when people want to expand, and here I actually get into our main topic of today, sometimes when people wish to expand, there is a gap. There's a gap between the expansion of their soul, or the wish for expansion of their soul, and the slow advancement of their physical environment or their physical capacity. And when that cannot go hand in hand at the same rate, we begin to face issues and challenges. And that's where I come in. And really the main core of my work is to reconnect, so as to rebalance, to readjust the physical and the non-physical. And once we are in alignment, things can move on and we can really grow and expand.
Okay, for those who don't know Dr. Ben Summer yet, I would say that Dr. Ben Summer is one of the leading teachers in Israel, and part of it also all over the world. And he is, in my point of view, like a magician that combines the understanding of the human body on one hand and the connection, the body-mind connection, body, mind, and soul connection. And I'm really totally welcome you and very happy to have you with us. As we all know, we are talking on leadership now. And in these amazing times, we feel that the time for a quantum leap in leadership is already over the corner. And I think most of the population on this planet feels that we are now already over the edge. And I would like to hear from you, Dr. Shomer, how do you see the new era of leadership on one hand, and how do you see the physical or scientific way to make it happen? When, as we said before the broadcast, that we are now going beyond time and space, that there is something on this planet that the energy, and it's already scientifically proved, that the energy goes beyond time and space. So I will be very happy to hear, how do you see it, and how do you see this science part on our physical body in the way we train ourselves for the future leadership?
Well, first of all, I want to mention that this time of coronavirus, COVID-19, has been a wonderful example for the changes that are about to begin to happen, because we are witnessing all over the world, and very, very strongly here in Israel, we're witnessing the confrontation between the governmental, social, say, I wouldn't even call it leadership in some states, I would say management, the governmental management of people, which in many parts of the world we see collapses and cannot meet the challenge, and the personal initiative of people. And actually, this is the new era of leadership. It's the personal leadership, because we have to understand that, what we call physical is not physical at all. And you know, quantum physics already have shown it, you know, like nearly 100 years ago, and nowadays we speak about it more openly, more we understand it better, that what we actually call physical is just emptiness and energy. And if you go down to the quantum level, you will only find space and energy. Once you realize that everything is energy, you begin to look at life differently. And when you understand that energy is connected as one huge wholeness, everything is connected to everything, you begin to understand that every change you make in your frequency, in your energy, in the quality of your energy is inducive, and it induces on your surroundings. And when I say on your surroundings, here is one more amendment or correction that needs to be taking place with many people, is that the surroundings are not what's close, physically close to you. Your surroundings is everything. And everything you do, everything you change, every change of energy, of frequency that you cause reflects back on the entire universe. And it sounds like, you know, composingly, I can't even find the expression, you know, it's like too big, too far reaching, but it is true. It is true. Every change you make makes a change in the world. And, you know, in my path, in my recent, let's say, 2 decades, a bit less, it happened to me many times that people come to me, people whom I don't know personally, they come to me and they say, oh, you know, you remember like 15 years ago, you taught this and that in a meeting, in a convention. Do you have any idea how it changed my life? It caused me to push myself to this and that, and my whole life changed. I didn't even know about this. And it happens more and more. You see, when one of the qualities of frequencies, of energy in a frequency, is that it vibrates in harmony. Okay? And if you have two matching frequencies, they start vibrating in harmony and start expanding and enhancing each other. That's what happens when we're doing something in a specific way and someone at our vicinity has a matching frequency. And when I say matching, it is not necessarily positive. It can also be negative matching, all right? So the attacker and the victim, they have matching frequencies. Once you begin to realize that and you connect it with what we call the physical reality, you start behaving differently. You see, we can look at our body, for instance. There are three main ways in which people see their body, all right? The most common way is when people say I, they do this, right? I. And they actually look at their bodies as I am the body. But it is not true. We are not the body. You know, we can live without our limbs, without our inner organs. You know, science can replace almost everything. If not now, then in 50 years' time. And we will still be us. So we are not our body. This is the first level of looking at it, right? The second way of observing, or the second level of observing, is when people start to realize that there is something different there, all right? It's not the body, it's something different. So they say, I live in my body, right? I am a different entity, what we like to call the soul or the being or whatever, you know, hundreds of names. So we live in the body. But what really is true is we live with the body, right? Our body is a wonderful, amazing machine, but it's not more than just a machine. And here I come to leadership, because actually, when we look at our body, we can't realize, we look at it as a whole unit, but most people I know don't realize that we are leaders of an entire universe. We have trillions upon trillions upon trillions of inhabitants that are composing this body, and they all look up to the leader, and the leader is us. And if we fail to lead ourselves, they look up at the leader. And we know from current politics, right, Shlomo, what happens when the leadership is not that much of a leadership. You begin to have chaos. And that's what happens when people begin to face chaos in their bodies. So the physical environment, it's really important to understand the physical environment responds to our leadership. So leadership begins from within. And this is my attitude. If you fail to lead yourself, you cannot lead others.
I would say
you can manage others.
I would say that this is also the attitude of our whole program. The people who will talk on our program, the teachers and the mentors, are going for a holistic approach. And by understanding this kind of holistic approach means that between me and you, although there is now a distance, not a big distance, but still we are one. And this, what we call interconnectedness, it is part of it. And yes, I totally agree with what you say.
Yes, it's really important. And I think that COVID-19 pushed us to realize how insignificant is the physical distance, because people learned how to connect much better through media and computers, and we really begin to understand that the physical distance is meaningless. I mean, I can heal a person in Australia now, and in 15 minutes I'll get a WhatsApp saying, "Oh, I feel much better." And there's no really physical distance. Everything happens here and now. And when you harness this truth into your leadership, you begin to realize that you can lead an entire world from your living room, and you don't need much more than to lead yourself properly, because true leadership is by inspiration, and you can inspire everything from everywhere, worldwide. And my personal note on that is that the most important thing we need to lead ourselves and the world is towards love, because this vibration of love is really what makes things happen. And you can look at every human society, be it in the United States, in South Africa, in the middle of the Sahara, or on a deserted island in the middle of the Pacific. People need love. No matter at what level, if you don't have this energy of love, everything collapses sooner or later. So when we know how to lead ourselves with love, we can lead others with love. And a person who doesn't love themselves, they have a real issue with leadership. You cannot lead others if you don't love yourself. So in our program,
I would like you to comment. We are talking on a resonant leadership, and which is beyond the hierarchy, and even beyond the leader and the follower. It is something like happening between us. This kind of energy, this kind of frequency and inspirational frequency, that we can help each other to go to a better place for all of us. So this is something that we are teaching in our program, and I will be very happy to hear more about your point of view on the physical way, how to create this kind of connection via online, via Zoom. We did it already, and I will be very happy to hear and maybe you should tell the people a little bit how you can do this kind of interconnectedness, how you can feel connected to people, even though if you sit somewhere in the world, in your room, or maybe outside the trees or the fields, and how you, or nature, so how you really connect physically. And as you said, physically is not real only physically, but it's something that you feel in your body, you feel in your emotions. So please comment on this.
Sure. Well, first of all, yeah, the the experiences we had with Zoom sessions, were amazing, and people loved them. When you open a session, and we're blessed to have such wonderful technology on our side, when you use this technology to gather around people worldwide the same time, and you direct people to do something, and this something, of course, is meaningful, right? Let's say if we do a practice to find, let's take a simple example. We do a practice of centering our body. And it's a very basic but very important practice to find my center, right? It's a physical practice. If I wobble around my center, forth and back and sideways, I can feel it's like a pendulum. When a pendulum moves from left to right, it meets the balance point, right? So if we stand and we do this practice and we find our center, and everybody is actually doing it at the same time, when you close your eyes, you connect to yourself much better. And when you're doing it at the same time with other people, and you found your center, and you close your eyes, you connect with yourself, you start feeling differently, because you're not doing it on your own. You're doing it in harmony with other people worldwide. And it's not the mental knowing that changes. It's the real fact that other people who have joined energy, joined frequencies with you towards the same goal, towards the same point, they're doing it with you at the same time. It's exactly like being in the same room and feeling the energy, feeling the vibe. We all know the difference. Let me give you a personal example for that. I like trance music. I mean, that's me. I like trance. I like going crazy. And I've seen many, huge trance festivals, Tomorrowland, with 250,000 people screaming. And this is a wonderful, energy. And it was always through YouTube. And then about 3 years ago, we went to a very large festival in Romania, and Armin van Buuren was there on stage, and we were with these, tens of thousands of people, if not more. And it was totally different, because the vibe you feel from the audience around you, the energy is so, it's so taking, it's amazing. So when we experience something on our own, it can be nice. But when you experience the same thing with other people in your vicinity, it's totally different. That's what happens when we practice in a group. So we practice in a group, matters not if we are in the same room or spread all over the world. We're together, we are united on something. That's what makes the difference.
Thank you, Ben. Thank you so much. And yes, I was amazed. The first time we made our first lesson in Zoom, and there were in the room around almost 100 people. And I thought I will not have this kind of feeling. I know that we met first when we had in Israel on the seashore, and we made our meditation with around 1,000 people.
Yeah.
And I felt the energy of everybody in this field through my body. And even up till now, I meet people that were there, and they say, wow, it changed my life. And I don't know their names. I don't know nothing about, but I felt their energy. And when it first happened in the Zoom, for me, it was like getting crazy. I didn't really expected or realize that this kind of energy can happen around the world via this screen. So even now, when I'm going to this screen, I touch the other side of the screen, I don't feel you. And yet, I feel goosebumps when I'm talking to you. And yet, my heart is open when I'm talking to you. And yet, we feel this kind of connection as if you was here, and even more, sometimes even more. Then it's like we are one, we are really one. And this thing is really amazing. And it happened, and it happens now all over the world. People that I couldn't even imagine that they will be part of our class or part of our teachers, like Greg Braden, like the Princess Laurentine from the Netherlands, and other great teachers. I couldn't even imagine that they will be part of us. Now, thanks to the Corona days, what I say, the happy Corona days, we can just feel it, see it, and it really happens like a miracle. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Shlomo. It's been a wonderful experience. It will be a wonderful experience. And remember, don't get yourself fixed on the screen. Close your eyes and feel together.
Okay, Dr. Ben. I would like you also, we have another 5-10 minutes. So I would like you to comment, to say something more on the way people will be able to do some kind of physical exercises in their home and what they have to prepare. So if they have to prepare a safe space, a silent space, or whatever, a quiet space, I will be very happy if you can comment on this and to tell the people what to prepare to our...
Well, there are several things I would mention. First, technically, sometimes we will work away from the screen. I'll ask you to stand up, to do stuff. It will be very beneficial if your sound system will be able to support, that you can hear what's going on even from a distance of, say, 1 or 2 meters from your screen, from your device, whatever it is. As for safe space, it's very personal. Obviously, there needs to be safe space. Sometimes we'll do things that other people think about as crazy or unaccepted. And if you don't have a safe space, you'll limit yourself. You'll think, oh, they're looking at me, they hear me, they'll think I'm crazy, they'll think I'm weird, I'm not gonna do it. Yeah, I'll think it, I'll do it later. And then, you miss the whole concept. And so obviously there needs to be a safe space, but safe space is very personal because actually safe space is something you create from within. It's not only your physical environment. And someone who really has a strong, safe space from within, they don't really care about the surroundings, all right? So it's very personal, if you feel yourself that you need a physical safe space, say the closed room, I wouldn't be heard, I want to be outside, whatever, wherever you feel safer, more comfortable with yourself, with your body, with moving, with making sounds. We're going to do all of that. So yes, take care of your surrounding. Make sure that you'll be in a safe space. Other than that, I don't see anything very special. Usually I ask people, to wear comfortable clothes, not like, tight jeans with a strong leather belt. But I think people will manage with any type of dressing in that respect. And because we're doing it in a Zoom session, we do have limitations, obviously. And one of the limitations is that in Zoom sessions we'll be on our own. As much as we would like all the participants to be in a group and working together, as couples or groups, in Zoom we cannot do that. So obviously it will affect our way of work. So it will be a bit calmer, let's say. It will be a bit less challenging than what we do when we, run SGLA courses physically in the same room, and then we really go crazy.
Yes, this is one thing. And also, if I may say, when you are on Zoom, you don't have to be afraid. You can stop or do things or stop from doing things as you wish. If it's a bit frightening you, threatening you, then you can just stop it. On the other hand, we will have breakout rooms on Zoom. So we'll have the opportunity and the chance, which is an amazing chance, to talk to people from all over the world, maybe one-on-one, maybe 4 people together in a group, and then really be intimate and open. And sometimes what I realized, that people, when they are overseas, they are more open because they don't really afraid. It's people that are not really living with them, and they don't have to see them tomorrow morning. So usually we feel much more free to share, to be intimate, to talk about our fears, our anxieties, our old patterns, whatever it is. This is as well works. So unfortunately, Dr. Ben Shomer, we don't have now the comments. I'm sure when we go back to the Facebook, we will see the comments, and then we can answer the questions, and we can send you to our website to prepare. But I want to tell everybody that I'm very, very excited to begin our program. I'm very, very excited for the people who are teaching, and I'm very, very excited that you are with us, Dr. Ben Shomer, one of the leading figures on this field in Israel and in the world. And I'm inviting all of you. The coming Thursday already, we will have Princess Laurentine and myself teaching on what is leadership, what is emancipation that we have to see on this planet, how we have to prepare ourselves to the coming new era of leadership. And again, I want to thank Dr. Ben Shomer, my friend, and I'm very, very happy that you are here with me, and I feel your support, over the distance.
Thank you so much, Shlomo. I'm thrilled to begin. I'm thrilled to begin. I can't wait. Thank you for this friendship, years-long friendship, and thank you for this wonderful program that you bring to the world. Everybody needs it so much. The humanity needs it.
That's so. We need it also personally. We need it nationally, and we need it globally. We need all the people together to make the change, to see the change we want to see in the world. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, too.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.